anyone ever told you you dream too big, that you have too many ideas, that you need to be realistic? What if there was a career and lifestyle that you could completely design yourself that enables you to do what makes your heart truly sing and helps millions of people benefit from what you have to offer? One that provided you with all the money you need to thrive, not just survive. That is the life of an enlightened entrepreneur. Welcome to the Aha Moments radio show, dedicated to the inspiration, education, and celebration of enlightened entrepreneurs worldwide, with your host, Mariana Cooper, founder of Aha Moments Inc. and AhaMomentsInc.com. Her motto, oh yes, you can have what you want, and you deserve it too. Join us for the next hour and learn to trust your aha moments to lead the way to a passionate and purposeful life. And now here's your host, Mari.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Aha Moments radio show for the inspiration, education, and celebration of enlightened entrepreneurs worldwide. I will be changing that soon. Just stay tuned for that. But for now, that's what we're here for, and I am really excited about tonight's show. You know, if you go early during the week to see what the next week's show is going to be about, you may not see anything, and it's not because I'm being negligent or because I'm being lazy. It's literally I wait for the energy to bubble up and for my guides to tell me what we need to discuss for the next week. So this show showed up in my cosmic inbox yesterday, and I was like, thank you, finally, because we have to let people know what we're going to be talking about. And they came up with the something I've been going through in my own world, but breakdown before the breakthrough. And I thought that was brilliant because, you know, right before you're about to have a breakthrough, especially if you're, you know, a light worker, an enlightened entrepreneur, a humanoid, all these things that we like to call ourselves, a spiritual being, all these things, we have these pathways that we're on, and we have various milestones. Obviously, you have some goals, some targets in your life that you want to meet. You might be working on a project or, you know, developing a relationship or working on a business or developing some big idea, and you are you're kind of on a path, and it seems like things are chugging along, and you're kind of excited about it and feeling really, expansive about it and like it's really going to work. And then all of a sudden it seems like something just stops. It either stops or all of a sudden we have a lot of chaos, or we have a lot of changes that we didn't expect, or we have some unforeseen shifts in plans. And just when you thought, you start to get that feeling of I'm so close yet so far, or I was feeling so confident before and now I don't feel confident anymore, or what I've been doing before just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense anymore. It used to make sense, but now it kind of doesn't make sense. And, well, what's next for me? And, well, how do I bridge the gap between what was in the past and what's coming to, into the fold now? You have friends who drop out of your life out of nowhere. I know that happened to me recently. You have, you might have family members who come back into your life, people who come into your life who used to be there and then they sort of took a hiatus and then they show back up again. So life is a very interesting thing, and success or accomplishment or manifestation, or as my friend likes to say, physical actualization, actualizing something in the physical world from the energetic, doesn't happen in a straight line. So that's point number one. It never happens in a straight line. It's very, very rare that it does. And so tonight's show is going to be devoted to all of this. We're going to talk about all of these changes. We're going to talk about how to recognize if it's time to sort of let something go and kind of give up on it, or if you should keep trudging along. We're going to talk about some guides who can help you with persistence and with fortitude and the courage to keep moving forward. And we're going to take a bunch of questions because I got several of you emailing me questions. So thank you for those who've emailed. And we also have people already waiting on the line to talk to me tonight, so I'm excited about that. And if you would like to call in, the number is 347-215-6705. 9485. It's 347-215-9485. So after I do the housekeeping and some content, we'll start taking your questions and hopefully we can get to some of these emails right after the first break in our second segment. So hang in there if you're on the phone. Thank you so much for waiting. So 347-215-9485. I see you calling in. Yay! I like to have company. I love Sam, but he doesn't get to talk on the show, so I like to have you guys keep me company. So call on in and let's see what we have for you today. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about housekeeping. A lot is going on energetically. We have had eclipses and we've had full moons, and we're heading towards the next new moon, and there's 2 new moons in this month, which is unusual, and there's just a whole lot of churn going on in the energy. I know from the Venus is in retrograde until June 27th, and when any planet is in retrograde, whatever that planet governs slows down, if not stops. So Venus is for love life. Venus is for looks, your appearance, so beauty. It's not the right time to kind of get plastic surgery or change your hairdo or change your hair color or make some drastic change in your appearance when Venus is in retrograde. And you probably don't want to make any big relationship decisions right now. If your partner or the wannabe partner or your hopeful partner is kind of wayward or distant, or things are just feeling a little out of sorts, give it some time. Just kind of give him a pass or give her a pass, and just say, okay, let me wait a couple of weeks. This will be over June 27th, so you might want to just kind of roll with things and sort of just let things go for now and make your bigger decisions in July when all of this is kind of blown over. So I always bring up the energy because in keeping with tonight's theme, I'll bring this up now, it's really important to know what the planets are sort of doing, because sometimes we blame ourselves for stuff or we try to have progress when you've got massive planetary influences going in the opposite direction, which can make you feel really, really, really bad. And I say really bad in the sense of you start to take it on as your own self, like something's going wrong with you, like all this work you're doing and, your contracts are falling through, or things are massively delayed, or, this bill comes in and you don't have the money until 4 days after the bill is due, and, these kinds of things. A lot of times it is a planetary thing, so you want to keep your eye on a couple of things. One is when a Mercury is in retrograde. That happens 3 times a year. I think one is coming up soon. I'm just not sure when. Probably next month. No, it's around my birthday. So I think it's end of July, beginning of August. And then, so, you have a little ways before that. But when Mercury goes in retrograde, and I have articles on it and stuff, and we'll talk more about it as we get closer, all kinds of things go awry, and it's not a good time to do surgeries, major purchases, and all that kind of stuff. But when Mercury is in retrograde, that's a tough time to have forward progression as far as bringing things to fruition. It's a great time for planning, but not otherwise. The other one is the moons. The full moon to the new moon, so the moon is getting smaller each night. There's less light each night. That's called a waning moon. That's not the time where you want to do big manifesting either, where we're getting darker and darker and darker and darker until we get to the dark moon, which is the new moon. We're in a waning moon right now. And so that's the time where you want to clean out, you want to let things go, you want to yes, you can make money. Yes, you can sign contracts. Yes, you can do all that. But those big, huge sort of flow, that real flow feeling, generally is more aligned with the waxing moon. So that's when we have the dark moon, the new moon, and we're getting bigger and bigger and bigger each night to full. When you're in a waxing moon, that's where you really get the pull of the energy of the moon. You get that really strong cohesive energy for manifesting, for actualizing, and so it's a really good time for bringing in things, for making your purchases, for money to flow, for your windfalls to happen, et cetera, et cetera. So that's something that I just want you to keep in mind. There's other things like the void of course moon and other things, but those are the basic ones. The retrogrades, and the moon cycles. If you can start to align your activities with what the energy is doing, you will find a lot greater ease. If you choose to ignore it, as some of my wonderful non-airy fairy friends like to do, they start spinning in circles, and then they call me and they say, "Is something retrograding?" And I'm like, "Uh-huh." And they're like, "Oh," and so they've learned to believe it over the period of time. But just so you know, for your own toolkit, it's very, very important, especially if you're energetically sensitive. Sometimes it's just beyond your ability to control. So you can stop beating yourself up. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about housekeeping, and then we'll get some more content in for tonight. We have my Intuition Masters program, my advanced studies program, and that's working with me directly, one-on-one, and we meet 2 or 3 times a month via the phone. We have a group class, and you get a lot of TLC from Ms. Mari. And I have 3 spots open right now in my summer program. So we'll start, I believe, I have to talk to my assistant, but I believe we'll start for late June, early July. So it's July, August, and September. So it's because it's a 3-month program. So if you would like to apply to the program, I would love to consider you. It's an invitation/application only program because I only work with a certain level of student. And so you can go to ahamomentsinc.com/intuitionmasters, and you can download the application, and then we'll be in touch with you. You could just download it and fill it out and send it back to us, and then we'll be in touch with you as to whether or not you made it into one of our 3 spots. I would love to have you. We're doing a lot of great things with the ladies. They move quickly through their issues and make some huge quantum leaps. So if you're interested in doing that, please definitely go to the site and let me know. And then we have my live class coming up in East Rutherford, New Jersey. So if you're in the New Jersey area, or much to my surprise, people are actually flying in for this class, which I did not expect, so that's really, really cool. We now have a hotel located very near where the center is. It's a very short walk, a very, very, very short cab ride from the hotel to the center. And so if you would like to come to our bars class, which will be live, it's the energetic work from Access Consciousness. You can read all about it at ahamomentsinc.com/thebars, and it's THEBARS, ahamomentsinc.com/thebars, and you can learn all about that live class. It's probably the lowest price class I've ever taught or ever will teach, because I think it's like $200. That's just because Access Consciousness sets the price for everyone in the world, so we all have the same pricing, all the facilitators who do this. So it's a great opportunity, and it's a wonderful tool, and you can actually, once you finish the class, you will be certified to be a practitioner. So if you have a healing practice or you would like to start one, you can actually perform bars on people and get paid for it. So it's a certification course. So if you'd like to join me, please, please, please sign up, because our space is limited and it's filling up fast, and I'm really excited about that. So it's ahamomentsinc.com/thebars, THEBARS. And I think that's going to be it for housekeeping. I could go on and on and on, but I'm not going to, because I want to get to the content before our first break, and I know a lot of you are waiting on the line to chat with me as well. So let's talk about this breakthrough thing, because I know, especially being an entrepreneur, and I know a lot of you who are listening are entrepreneurs, life goes in ebbs and flows. It's feast and famine. It's a lot of highs and lows, and it just is the nature of the beast. I personally kind of like it like that, because I'm not the type of person who likes to go day in, day out to the same job, doing the same thing over and over and over again. That's not my, for my energy, it doesn't work. But it also means that if you are going to live the life of an entrepreneur, or the life of someone who does freelance work or project-oriented work, or you have projects and things outside of your work life that you're working towards, you have to kind of get used to ambiguity. You have to start to understand what I call your bounce factor, your bounce back factor. How do you bounce back? What level of resilience do you have? You have to become very resilient. And this really, for light workers, let's even not even talk about entrepreneurs, for light workers in general, you're very, very sensitive. We all are. We're very intuitive, and everybody's born with intuition, but we happen to be pretty, amped up, right? And so when you are working, you're around other people or in crowded places, especially in this 2012 energy where everything is really, really amped up more than ever before, you're probably feeling, if you're like most of us, very sensitive. Very, you're kind of, you could probably react to a whole lot of stuff that you normally wouldn't. So the first thing to recognize when you're working towards something is that it's very important to keep in alignment with what's really your stuff and what's sort of somebody else's stuff. Because if you're that psychic, which we all are, a lot of times we're picking up on other people's thoughts about what we're doing, on other people's doubts, on other critics, or even, people, like let's say you're working on, an acting piece, and you're really, really working towards this audition or some sort of, landing some sort of role. And you tap in, you're sort of sitting and you're focusing and visualizing and all that. And as you do, without even knowing it, you're tapping into all the other actors out there who are going for the same part. Or, if you're really sensitive, all the other actors out there who are just going for parts in general. And you can pick up on the anxiety of all of those people that's not even yours. You can pick up on their angst, on their, their sense of insecurity, if you're not careful. But you can also, on the flip side of that, choose to send your energy and align with people who are extremely successful at being actors, who do land great roles, who are working in the field, often and on a regular basis. You can also tap into that energy if you know how to direct your energy and you're aware of what we're talking about. When you're not aware, a lot of the anxiety that you might be experiencing for something like that or anything could very well be someone else's. So you can always ask that question, is this mine or is this someone else's? The other thing that you want to think about when you're moving towards these projects and these milestones in your life is that right before you're about to break through, stuff happens. And this I know firsthand. I never, ever, ever share anything with you that I have not experienced myself. Like I said, no matter how advanced you get, and I've been teaching for, a really long time, 20 years or so, 18 years, whatever it's been, you're always being pushed to another level. You're always being pushed, on your own timeline and on your own accomplishment line, if you will. So you're always being pushed to another higher rung in the ladder or another, ring in the spiral or whatever way you like to look at it. So none of us, I don't care what teacher it is, I don't care if it's Louise Hay or Eckhart Tolle or any of these people, everybody is being pushed to the next level, in their own personal development. So we're always facing this. So right before you have a breakthrough, it's not uncommon to have a breakdown. And when I say breakdown, I mean a breakdown in a variety of different ways. That can look like things just suddenly go silent. Like you had all this chatter around a project, and all this, seeming activity, you had this big idea, and then all of a sudden, whoosh, nothing. You're not hearing from people. You're not, it seems like your mojo was gone. I always used to say, oh, I lost my mojo. I felt like, do you ever see that show, the Santa Claus is Coming to Town, where the wizard gets stuck? He has like, his wand is broken, and all he has is like a couple of magic jelly beans, and Rudolph eats them, and that's how he can fly. Well, every time I think about when I get in these stuck places, I'm just like, oh, my mojo's gone. Oh, my wand is broken, and I start licking my wounds and feeling sorry for myself. Because when I'm on, everything just boom, 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 pop, 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 right? So I'm sure you've experienced that when you're in the zone, we call it in the flow, as a dancer and as an athlete and all that, it's always like, are you in the zone where you're not even counting the minutes anymore? You don't feel the sense of time anymore. It all just seems to be flowing. when we are about to have a breakthrough, a lot of times that stops. And it stops because there's a new calibration. There's two things that are happening. One is you are no longer in alignment with what you used to be. I'll say it again. You are no longer in alignment with what you used to be. So, all of a sudden, everything you were doing, everything you were feeling, everything you were working towards kind of doesn't make sense. Or you've outgrown pieces of your life and they really feel uncomfortable because now you are out of alignment with where you've been because you're moving towards this breakthrough with where you're going. And now you may very well be in alignment with where you're going, but it feels foreign to you because it's new. So you may be misidentifying that discomfort and not recognizing that you're actually now in alignment with the new point of view and the new version of you and out of alignment with the old version of you. So this manifests itself in your physical world as many things. First of all, it can manifest as chaos, okay, because all of a sudden nothing from the old kind of way fits. And since when nothing fits, then your day-to-day feels like it's not working anymore. And you can make changes in certain things and other things you can't, and people are reacting to you differently, and your world. I mean, when I came back from being on the road, this was happening to me, and my whole town looked different. The colors looked different. The way that my car drove felt different. Everything felt different because I had expanded so much in the work that I was doing on the road. So that chaos, you can feel that. Also the big changes. You can also see a lot of unforeseen shifts, and those shifts can come in a variety of different ways. And that's only because when you're moving to that breakthrough point, to that next, you're getting over this last hurdle and you're getting into the new zone, call it a zone for, illustration, there's a lot of things from the old way that don't fit. So you might need new people to show up in your world. You might need to eat differently. I know my diet has changed dramatically in the last week, and it's so easy. It's so easy. In the last 2 weeks, I mean, it's just amazing how different. You also may feel some resistance, and this is where we really, 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 and, when we get on the other side of the break, we'll talk more about it, but the resistance to the change, because if you're a creature of habit, which most of us are, and all of a sudden, you have to make some lifestyle changes in order to sustain what it is you've been working towards. There's be aspects of you that will want to stay in the past, that don't want the new stuff, don't want the new smells and the new colors and the new expansion and that new spaciousness. And that spaciousness of being in that new space in your life will feel almost too big. You'll feel like you want to contract yourself back to where you've been, because even though the contraction doesn't feel good, it's what you know. It's habit. And we are creatures of habit in many cases. So I'm going to stop there. I want you to chew on that during the break. It's a lot of information and a lot to wrap your head around. If you're listening to the podcast, you'll probably want to rewind it and listen to this piece again, because this is really, really important. The breakdown right before the breakthrough, okay, can come in a variety of different ways, but it's just an indicator that you've made it, and you just need to breathe deep and keep pushing through, because you're right at the threshold of greatness. So we'll talk about that and how to get through that door in one piece, or many pieces, but all the pieces catching up kind of at the same time on the other side of the break. And if you'd like to chat with me, I see we have people waiting on the lines already. 347-215-9485. That's 347-215-9485. I'm Mari. You're listening to the Aha Moments radio show, and we will be right back.
Do you ever get a hunch about something and ignore it, only to find out later you were right after all? Do you know that you're intuitive but need help interpreting what you get? Need quick answers to burning questions but don't have the time to wait for a private reading? Then Mari's Intuitive Living Oracle cards are the tool for you. 45 gorgeous laminated cards and a full book of interpretations come together in a beautiful velvet bag. The cards have been designed and energized to give you the answers right now. No more sleepless nights weighing pros and cons. Ask the cards your questions and see what message your intuition has for you. To learn more and get your deck now, go to the store at www.ahamomentsinc.com and click on the Intuitive Living cards now. That's the store at ahamomentsinc.com. The answers are truly within your reach.
Are you at a crossroads in your life? Facing big decisions about your life purpose, business, relationships, or other major issues? Are you wondering why you may be delayed in getting what you want? Or if you have special guides who are helping you? Then investing in a private intuitive reading with Mari is just what you need. As a third-generation spiritual intuitive, Mari has worked with thousands of clients over the past 18 years. During your private session, you will learn who your guides are, receive insight on the core issues that need attention, and get new perspective, clarity, and inspiration on what to do next. To register, go to www.ahamomentsinc.com and click on the Work with Mari tab to get all of the details. There are a limited number of spots each month, so go to www.ahamomentsinc.com for yours now.
Hey everybody, this is Dr. Dane here. I'd like to invite you to an adventure in being. I've just written and finished a new book called Being You, Changing the World. Are you one of those dreamers? One of those people who've always known that other possibilities should be available, but haven't yet been able to create them as your reality? Well, I wrote this book specifically for you. I invite you to go to beingyoubook.com now to begin this journey of discovery with me, as I offer you a free audio chapter as my gift to get you started. In it, you'll find tools, processes, and unique perspectives to change the things you've always wanted to change but didn't know how. Are you aware that truly great people, truly being them, is the only thing that has ever created a great change on this planet? Being You, Changing the World invites you to explore a totally different possibility that you may have never considered before. So, are you willing to step up? Are you willing to truly be you? Then join me at beingyoubook.com now to get your free chapter as my gift to you. I'm looking forward to our journey together. That's beingyoubook.com. What if you, truly being you, are the gift and change the world requires?
Step back in time to the very beginning, before life as we know it existed. Stones have been on this earth since before the inception of man. They are keepers of ancient wisdom and messages. Tap into the profound wisdom of stones and let your journey begin at the Rock Girl Sacred Stone School. Let the Rock Girl take you back to those ancient days to learn firsthand the language and the secrets of stones. The Rock Girl will teach you how to develop your very own technique of communicating with them, allowing you to embark on your own path of self-discovery. Courses include Reiki, psychic development, chakra balancing and auric cleansing, hands-on healing, and more. Visit sacredstoneschool.com for classes and workshops taught exclusively by the Rock Girl of therockgirl.com.
Hello, this is Mari, and you're listening to the Aha Moments Radio Show. Wow, oh my goodness, tongue twister. Is that And today we are talking about breaking down before the breakthrough. How do you get through to the other side, to bringing these goals to fruition? And something else just came up. My guys just popped this one into my head, so I'm going to bring it to your attention, and that is one of the other reasons why you may be held back is that you're really not willing to receive the new thing. Oh, that's a big topic. They always, of course, do this to me right when I have bunch of people on the phone waiting for questions. But the question is, are you willing to receive the new thing that you really desire? Do you feel you deserve it? Do you feel like you're ready to receive it? Are you ready to take on the way your life will change when you have it? These are the questions you need to ask yourself, because a lot of times we take it for granted. We think, oh, I must have that relationship. I have to be with this guy. Oh, he's amazing. Oh, he's so wonderful. Oh, my God. And then he says, hey, how you doing? You're like, ah, and you're running the other way, right? Because maybe you're maybe not quite ready. A lot of times people get very comfortable being in the negative portion, I'm going to use negative in quotes, negative portion of their lives, and not stepping forward to that new thing, because it's kind of like the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know, right? The unknown. So you want to ask yourself, am I subconsciously or even consciously ready to receive what it is I've been asking for? Because that's one thing. When it comes to angels and guides and all that kind of stuff, you definitely have to ask. They cannot go against your free will. So if you don't ask for support and help, if you don't ask the universe for support and help, you will not be able to receive it. So that's something else. Now, one of the other things that happens right before you have a breakthrough is your money stops. What? Seriously? Yeah. Money flows can stop. Why? Because as you're shifting from one kind of dimension to the next, from your old way to your new way, your energy is shifting. You're kind of in that limbo stage. It's kind of like going from one altitude to the other in a plane, and you hit that turbulence. And because money is energy, your money flows are aligned with the old version of you, and now there's like maybe a little gap before they align with the new version, as long as you step both feet into the new version. And this is why, if you are straddling the fence, okay, many years ago I had a session with a guy who channeled this amazing guide, and he said, Mari, you got to get off the fence. You got 1 foot on one side of the fence, you got 1 foot on the other side of the fence, and you won't have the resources from either side of the fence. If you're back in your past, then you'll have the old resources that you're used to. If you put both feet into your new thing, your new future, let's say, your new present that you've created, then the money will flow to support the new. Put both feet in one pond. Pick a lane, as Simon Cowell says well, he used to say on American Idol when he's on there. Pick a lane. Put both feet in the lane. Commit. Then you can command the universe to support you. If you're still straddling, your money will straddle too. I have a lot of people say, I'll do it if the money comes. But the money won't come unless you're actually both feet in. Okay, so that's something that happens. Now, the other thing that can happen is the money all of a sudden starts to flow. When the money starts to flow, that means that you really have aligned energetically. And if the money is showing up, that means it's all systems go. Now, if the money isn't showing up, what you have to ask is, what's right about this that I can't see? Because when you say what's right about this instead of what's wrong, when you say what's wrong, then the guides have to show you all the wrongness, which doesn't really get you very far. When you say what's right about this that I'm missing, then they're going to show you maybe the lesson you need to make or an adjustment you need to make so that it all comes and syncs up. And you can start asking also, what's right about me? What's right about me? Because a lot of times when we get to these breakdown things, we keep saying, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? I was doing so good. I always get stuck right at the last minute. I was so close yet so far. That kind of thing. You start to beat yourself up. So money will flow, and when your money does flow, that means you're really solidly in alignment. So that's one barometer. When resources start to flow, when synchronistic events start to happen to support you on your way, that means you're right in the right spot. Okay, so that's something you want to think about. Okay, a couple of more things, and then I'll start taking your questions. One is you want to ask yourself, as you're going through this breakdown period, or this feeling of pullback, let's say, you want to notice as you go through each task of your day, notice if you're feeling heavy and dark, or if something feels light and bright. The light and bright is the yes path. The heavy and dark is the no, let it go path. Okay, so as you contemplate each option that you have in front of you, if it feels light and bright, go with it. It may be the most unusual thing or the thing you would least expect that feels light and bright. Go with it. Okay? If it feels heavy and dark, but it seems like it used to like work all the time and you'd fall back on it, if it's feeling heavy and dark, it is no longer the best option for you. Don't take that one. Go with the light and bright one, even if it feels foreign, new, unusual, strange. If you're not a little bit afraid or you don't have a little bit of anxiety, you're probably not on the right track, because usually we feel anxiety, which is kind of misidentified excitement, when we're going into something new that's in a different level of alignment, and we haven't really experienced that alignment before. So sometimes we misidentify that as nervousness or anxiety. The next thing you want to do is make sure you ask a lot of questions, and not like grilling somebody. I'm talking about the kinds of questions that you would ask to the universe where it can really open itself up to give everything to you. One is what's possible? What's possible here? How does it get better than this? I know you've heard that one from me a lot. What will it take for this to come to fruition? Will this bring me joy? Will this bring me more happiness? What will bring me joy? What will bring me happiness? Is this in alignment with me? How can I be more aligned with this? Those types of very open-ended questions that give the universe a big free range to pour answers and windfalls and support to you. Okay? When you are analytical and trying to micromanage and truncate every single thing, you will stop the energy, and you'll keep yourself in that really scary place of limbo. And it can be really scary. It really can, because your money stops and you don't know what to do, and you don't know to push you, pull you, and you're trying to go back to the past and you've already shut the door so it doesn't work, and you're too scared to go into the future so you don't have the resources for that. You can really start to spin yourself. So you want to make sure that you're asking the right kinds of questions and not doing analysis paralysis. The third one is to stop and be still. And there's kind of a formula for being still. The formula is 3 days. And when I say be still for 3 days, I mean just stop. Just stop for 3 days. Give yourself 3 days and just open yourself up with the right questions. Just ask, what's possible? Please show me the way. And stop analyzing for 3 days. You don't have to take any action. Just be still. In 3 days, usually you'll have a breakthrough. You'll have some sort of movement. You'll get a hunch. You'll get an action step to take that's going to lead you down the next path. It just gives the universe a chance to calibrate with you and to communicate with you, and for you to shut up long enough that you can actually get, they can get a word in edgewise to get you the full, a fuller prescription of what steps to take next. So I like to divide my week into receiving days and asking days. And I've done this exercise with many of my clients. In my coaching program, we go through all these kinds of things. The receive days are when you literally just say, okay, today I'm going to allow myself to receive. I'm not going to ask for anything. I'm not going to do all the praying and the visualizing and the affirmations and the questioning and all. I'm just going to be open to receive. Whatever it is, bring it on. I'm open. Show me the way. What's possible? On the ask days, then you can have at it. You do your vision boards, you do you're praying, you're asking for this and asking for that. But then if you give the universe specific days for receiving, you will be amazed at how you'll start to feel the energetic difference between asking and receiving. It's two different kinds of energy. Okay? So those are some tools to help you with this whole breakdown before the breakthrough thing. The other two things there's three more quick things. The other three things are, one is do something that brings you joy. Even if it does cost you money, make sure it brings you joy. Okay? Make sure it brings you joy. And if it brings you joy, it will resonate out into the world and attract more joy to you. All right? And then the other thing is to clean something out. Open space to receive what you're desiring. And finally, the one that I like to use is a long time ago I used to do this. I don't do this so much anymore. But sometimes if you're really feeling like kind of stuck, doing something as simple as putting together a jigsaw puzzle or something that actually will, that will actually finish, that has a beginning, a middle, and an end, that you're like problem solving something that just gets your mind off of the other thing, that actually will send new energy. It'll open you up to receive new energy. So those are the things so far. I think that's it. I think that's enough for the tools and content. So I want to see here. I want to make sure my connection is still on. I think we're still on the air. We're having a little connection problems on the last break. Okay, so my producer just told me we're all good. All right, so why don't we try to do one call before the break? I know this is cutting it close because we're already at the break, but let's try anyway. Mary in New York. Hi, Mary. There?
Hi there. Thanks for taking my call. I just lost, well, I shouldn't say but 2.5 months ago I lost my job, so that was certainly a breakdown, and it was a new job. I was only there for 5 weeks. And it was a better position with better pay, more responsibilities, but, it still came to an end. And I'm just wondering if something better is going to be there for me in the coming months, because I'm open and ready for the next challenge in my life.
Yeah, and have you thought of directing that challenge as opposed to sort of nebulously waiting? Because what I'm feeling from your guides is she will not commit to what she genuinely wants. She's kind of waiting for a job to sort of show up that could be, in alignment with what you already had, or maybe a little bit better. But what they're saying is you don't ask big enough for yourself. So is there something that you genuinely would like to do, some particular company or particular skill set that you really, really enjoy? I'm not saying you have to go and start a business or anything, even though it feels like you probably could do very well in that. Have you ever done merchandising or anything in the fashion industry, or like a store or anything like that?
Oh, many years ago, I did an externship at Saks Fifth Avenue, but that was only for 3 days.
But you loved it, right?
Well, I mean, it was okay. I mean, it was a little bit more involved than I thought it would be, but like what I really love is to play the piano, and my dream job is to be a concert pianist, but it might be a little bit too late to get that kind of training. I would love to be able to say, hey, well, I could just work hard and get whatever certification to become a performer. But, like prodigies or former prodigies compete with other prodigies, and, I'm an adult already, heading into middle age.
You have, this is why the angels are saying that. You have extreme limitations. You have like a fortress around the potential of failure, right? And so 2 things that I'll say, and then I'm going to have to take this break. But the first thing is I would explore that. That has the seeds of greatness in it. You're never too old. Never, especially the piano. It's not like you're trying to be a gymnast on the Olympic team. I mean, the piano isn't going to say, oh, she's 35, so we can't let her bang the keys. I mean, seriously? That's like... And the second thing is your vision of what a concerto is, or a concert pianist is. Do you have to be Liberace for it to be successful? Because if that's your barometer for success, then you're cutting yourself short from a whole lot of joy. Because could you be happy starting out playing for a small audience, playing and working your way through, working your way up? And the other question is, and these are just questions just to play with, is to start asking, instead of saying, okay, this can't happen because of this, what's possible? Perhaps you go and you get a job working for a company that puts on piano concerts, or that builds pianos, or that sells pianos, or that has to do with music or sheet music or something that's in the genre of where your passion is. So that at least you're surrounded by the people and the potentials and the opportunities. Maybe it's working for the school that teaches the pianist.
Yeah, I was thinking about Juilliard, for example.
Yeah,
in New York City.
Exactly. If you're in New York City, the sky's the limit for you. The sky's the limit. I happen to live in the New Jersey area, and I did the whole acting and dancing and everything in New York for many, many years. Yep. I
great.
In New York quite a bit. So I totally know the market. I know that there's a zillion opportunities. Get backstage. And also there used to be a publication for artists and people who wanted for performers. You could just Google, jobs in the arts in New York City, and there's definitely boards and things like that. And I would definitely go in that direction. But you have to start listening to your heart. That's why that other job went away. You've got a much bigger plan ahead of you. So I'm going to have to jump off.
Great.
Good luck to you. Call back in and let us know how you're doing, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Have a great night. You're welcome. Okay, so we're going to go to our next break, and if you are waiting on the line, then please hold. We will definitely get to you on the other side of the break. All right, and if you'd like to call in, it's 347-215-9485. That's 347-215-9485. I'm Mari. You're listening to the Aha Moments radio show, and we will be right back.
Step back in time to the very beginning, before life as we know it existed. Stones have been on this earth since before the inception of man. They are keepers of ancient wisdom and messages. Tap into the profound wisdom of stones and let your journey begin at the Rock Girl Sacred Stone School. Let the Rock Girl take you back to those ancient days to learn firsthand the language and the secrets of stones. The Rock Girl will teach you how to develop your very own technique of communicating with them, allowing you to embark on your own path of self-discovery. Courses include Reiki, psychic development, chakra balancing and auric cleansing, hands-on healing, and more. Visit sacredstoneschool.com for classes and workshops taught exclusively by the Rock Girl of therockgirl.com.
Hey everybody, this is Dr. Dane here. I'd like to invite you to an adventure in being. I've just written and finished a new book called Being You, Changing the World. Are you one of those dreamers? One of those people who've always known that other possibilities should be available, but haven't yet been able to create them as your reality? Well, I wrote this book specifically for you. I invite you to go to beingyoubook.com now to begin this journey of discovery with me, as I offer you a free audio chapter as my gift to get you started. In it, you'll find tools, processes, and unique perspectives to change the things you've always wanted to change but didn't know how. Are you aware that truly great people, truly being them, is the only thing that has ever created a great change on this planet? Being You, Changing the World invites you to explore a totally different possibility that you may have never considered before. So, are you willing to step up? Are you willing to truly be you? Then join me at beingyoubook.com now to get your free chapter as my gift to you. I'm looking forward to our journey together. That's beingyoubook.com. What if you, truly being you, are the gift and change the world requires?
Are you at a crossroads in your life? Facing big decisions about your life purpose, business, relationships, or other major issues? Are you wondering why you may be delayed in getting what you want? Or if you have special guides who are helping you? Then investing in a private intuitive reading with Mari is just what you need. As a third-generation spiritual intuitive, Mari has worked with thousands of clients over the past 18 years. During your private session, you will learn who your guides are, receive insight on the core issues that need attention, and get new perspective, clarity, and inspiration on what to do next. To register, go to www.ahamomentsinc.com and click on the Work with Mari tab to get all of the details. There are a limited number of spots each month, so go to www.ahamomentsinc.com for yours now.
listening to the Aha Moments radio show. Today we are talking about the breakdown before the breakthrough. And I'm Mari, and we're going to take some more questions. Thanks for holding on the line. Let's see. We have Barb in Idaho. Barb, are you still on the line?
I'm still here, Mari.
How are you?
Well, I'm doing good. How about you?
Just fine. How's life in Idaho?
It's cold and chilly here.
Wow, cold and chilly.
We finally got some sun the other day, but the last few years we've had quite the chilly springtime.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how can I help you tonight? What's your question?
Well, it's the oddest thing. I got on the computer. I was going to listen to your radio show, and the pod went out, and so I thought, okay, here's a phone number, and it's like flashing at me, so I'll call in. And I called in, and so I didn't even know what my question was, but I do have one ready.
Okay.
And a lot of time I've had a lot of heartbreak in losing 3 out of 5 of my immediate family members in the last in the last few years and stuff. But I've had a lot of things from heaven come. Come down in little notes and little things that have been brought to me. And so I started exploring and running into Mari Cooper and angel readings and psychicness. And so you're a teacher for me. But the one thing that is standing out today to ask is, there's been this book, and it seems I'm supposed to write this book, and it's like a note from heaven was the name.
Wonderful.
That was brought to me, and apparently I seem to be gifted in the fact that I'm like a bridge between life and death and comforting those, and I can kind of hear the people on the other side saying little tidbits that are left to the loved ones.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of coming to terms that I guess that may be called channeling or mediums or something.
Yeah, mediumship. Yep, that's what it is. I'm a certified medium. Yep.
Yes,
I did
this
that
is
for
all
many
new to
years.
me, and so so you're definitely a teacher, and so I'm wondering about my guides and my angels and what they actually have to tell me about this book, because you were speaking about how things come to a stop before we break through. Well, I'm just getting ready to compile the books, because when people die, I sit down and I pray, I listen, and then I write. And then I go to their funeral and I read it, and they go, oh, my gosh, that's the one thing that helped me so much. And then as I pray again, it's like, you need to put it in a book so that others, can benefit from these comforting words.
Let me stop you here, just because I've got a bunch of other people on the line to wait, and we're about to end the show in like 9 minutes. So let me just say this, okay? You're absolutely on the right track. Don't doubt at all what you're being led to. And as soon as I heard your voice, I was like, wow, what a sweet soul she is. And you hold a tremendous amount of light. This is not the first lifetime you've done this. Okay, this is a continuation of what you always did. So it feels very, very familiar, and it's interesting because most mediums don't deal with a person until well after the funeral process. Usually it's, a year or two, people come and I really need to talk to my kid or my husband or my dog or whatever. I could tell you all kinds of adventures I've had with my in my mediumship days. I don't do that kind of work anymore so much, but so what I would say is 2 things. One is, go with what you really know. You have very strong knowing. Stop thinking you're a beginner or just getting started or you're just dabbling. Both feet in the lane. Just say, yes, I'm willing to commit to this. Archangel Gabriel is the one who helps with writing books. And you would want to call in Archangel Gabriel to help you. Archangel Michael will give you courage. And it's important when you're working with disembodied, when you're working with people who have crossed over, it's of all the energies to work with, it is definitely the heaviest of the energies to work with, just because they were coming out of, human beingness and blah, blah, blah. It's way too long for the radio show answer. But so there's two directions I would guide you to. One is read everything that James Van Praagh has written. George Anderson, I've actually worked with George in the past. George Anderson is like the grandfather of mediumship. He was out before James Van Praagh. And John Edwards, of course, a lot of people already know about John because he's probably the most recent of the mediums who got, pretty popular. You can read those books to just get familiar with their take. And the other place you want to look into is Lilydale, Lylydale. You can just Google Lilydale. That is the kind of quintessential center for mediums in this country. And Doreen Virtue teaches out of Lilydale. Sandra Ann Taylor, who's on my telesum and a very dear friend of mine, she teaches and speaks in Lilydale. In fact, she'll be there next month. You want to be a part of that community if you're going to do mediumship. You need support, and there are definitely like prayers of protection and things you can do that'll make it easier for you, so you can do that kind of work with ease. But the real special part about you is that your willingness to go to the funeral and deliver these messages. You're actually being employed by the other side, not so much by the people here.
Yes, I get that part,
yes.
And I've just been so lost up here in North Idaho because I am my best friends that I've had for years and years, they just go, oh my, that's out there, Barb.
Yeah, well, you know what? Then that means you have to go and surround yourself with people who are already doing what you want to do, and that's just fine. That's just letting you know that again, you're in that phase where your old life is starting to break down, so that you can break through into this new life. And by calling in today, you've been given some resources and some tools to find community. Finding community is really, really important, and Lilydale is a very reputable place. There are a lot of places that are not, okay? So I don't want you dabbling in everything. But you can send an email to me, and I can give you some more information, okay? So just send it to support@ahamomentsinc.com, and I can give you some further help.
Oh, thank you, Mari.
Okay, my dear. Best of luck to you, and I honor you for the work you're doing. It takes a lot of courage, and don't let anybody in Idaho tell you that it's wrong, because it's not.
Well, I just kind of giggle at them, but I'm just kind of stumbling through and going, where do I begin? Where do I start? And then, of course, the diversion of getting kidney stone and sepsis in the ICU kind of just threw me over sideways too. And
yep. Well,
but yeah,
one step at a time, my dear. Thank you
for
calling in. Have a great night. Okay, let's see. Catherine in Cleveland. Hi, Catherine. How are you?
I'm fine, Mari. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for calling in. How can I help you tonight?
Thanks for taking my call. Following your telesummit, I had a couple of questions answered by a couple of those people, which was wonderful. And I wanted to just, following that, I kind of had I did a little reading with my angel oracle cards, and one of them was a clairvoyant card, and then I had a dream with an apparition of a woman that came to me, and I don't know who she was, but it was kind of reviewing my life, reviewing my current situation of relationships and everything, which has just kind of been this big thing in front of me that I've just tried to, I've kind of let go of emotional ties that I've had recently, and then just trying to be open to receive. So I just wanted to get your feedback on, I can describe this vision that I saw, a woman with kind of blonde, brownish, curly hair, dress that had like blue and purple in it, and it was amazing. So I'm very delighted about, my future, but I want to make sure that I'm not spinning and that I'm at the same time taking action.
Well, you're clearly taking action because you're having the dreams and you're open to receive the dreams. If you weren't taking action energetically, you wouldn't be able to have that good of a vision, and you wouldn't have had linking signs. When you see signs link, like you got the clairvoyance card and then you get the dream to back up the card, that means that you're really in good alignment, like you're on the right track. So I wouldn't discount that, okay? That's actually, if you see it 3 times, then it's a sign. If you have something like that, we have a connection like that, that's a sign too. Okay. The other thing is when you say I'm spinning, well, welcome to life, because it doesn't kind of happen in a straight line, especially not in this kind of work and this and what you're kind of embarking on as far as your spiritual exploration. Spinning is actually a good thing, so don't make that a wrongness. Okay, that's actually a strength that you're willing to spin and flow with the energy as opposed to demanding that it has to happen in some sort of linear line. Linear only works in like elementary and high school. Even when you get to college, you start to spin because you have so much choice. The more choice you have, the less linear you have. Okay, so what I would say is I would break down your world into smaller increments. Don't look at it as, okay, don't hold yourself up to the high school graduation standard. What I mean by that is, if, step by step, first grade, second grade, ninth grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, now we do the final, now we get a job, don't even, it doesn't work like that. And if you start to hold yourself up to that, you will falsely identify yourself as not being successful because you will be using the wrong measurements of success, which you happen to be really good at because you're very perfectionistic and very hard on yourself. So the big message from that particular woman who showed up in your dream is allowance. Allow it to unfold. They're going to give you happen to be a very strong clairvoyant. You actually are strong in all the clairs, but that particular one is, is your dominant clair. Kind of like your cornerstone. Everybody has one of the four clairs that's their cornerstone. And so I would just keep a journal and start writing. You can do automatic writing. It's actually write her a note and say, hey, I saw you in my dream. I was really excited to see you. Can you give me more information about yourself? And then she will actually answer you. And with your dominant hand, like if you're right-handed, what you do to start automatic writing is to ask the question with your right hand. And then to answer the question with your left hand. Why? Because the voice of what you're feeling from her will change, and you'll know, okay, that's her energy speaking to me, and this is my energy, and you'll start to be able to discern the two. Then you'll start to get the guidance that she'd like to share with you. So hopefully that helps.
It did. Thank you.
I'm so glad. Good luck to you. I know you're on the right track.
Thanks for all your work. Love it all.
Thank you. Thanks for calling in. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Have a great night. Take care. Okay. Let's get to Annette in California. Are you there, Annette?
Yes, I
Hi.
am, Mari. Thanks for taking my call.
Oh, you're welcome. How are you?
This is one of those signals that I saw this since I've had another downturn. I've been working on getting Heart Path Healing launched, and I was on a roll, and then I had a couple of things happen. One was a psychic attack that happened to a friend, and we had exactly the same symptoms at the same time. And then an ex just was rather unthoughtful, and then my energy just tanked, and then my physicality went into difficulty again. So I'm anything that you could get that, and also I was getting the moon card, so I think that piece of it has some significance, but anything that you could get about my going forward in this.
Well, what part of drama do you love that you like to sort of deep in it? And if you look back in your life, and you may not like that question, but I had to ask it. And the other question is, because, no, seriously, a lot of times when you have that level of drama happening where you kind of go up the hill and then you slide back and you go up the hill and you slide back down and you go up the hill and you slide back down and somebody jumps on you and beats you over the head with a crowbar, like what you just described, that's because you actually, there's a part of you that's aligned with that. And I know people hate for me to use this word, but the guides are saying it, that victim thing, okay, that soup, that sort of crazy, negative, chaotic soup, you're really good. You happen to be extremely powerful in crisis. You thrive in crisis. You can, you could take, 9/11 and just whoosh, boom, 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 boom. You'd get it all sewn up. It would have never taken you 10 years to rebuild the World Trade Center. You would have got done in 2 weeks. It's just how you are, right? And your laughter is telling me this is truth. So truth, do you thrive on chaos? Do you thrive there?
Well, I can. I don't like to live there.
Right.
So I've not had that in my life for a while. But
right.
I got to the core. I keep on getting the core of the issue, and it's helpless rage from my childhood.
Okay.
So I don't know if that connects with this in some way, but that's
helpless rage and chaos and all that stuff goes hand in hand. But if you were in chaos as a child, did you get a lot of attention? Did you get the support you needed because you were in chaos?
No.
Okay. So then,
but I had a lot of focus and a lot of persecution, and a lot of blame and a lot of fault. So I've been trying to come back out into the world, but that's the one that I've been really working on to shift out.
Okay, so for two things, because I'm already the show is already supposed.
Oh, I'm sorry,
but it's okay. Two things, okay. One is that I don't think you really, honestly, genuinely, in your energy, need to figure all of the past stuff out anymore. I think you spent a tremendous amount of time there, and what the part that you're not really particularly secure with, you know how to handle the rage thing and the childhood thing and the abuse thing and the psychic attack thing and the moon card thing and all. You know how to handle all that really, really good. The part that you don't know how to handle is happiness.
Yeah, you got it.
That's terrifying to you. Like happiness? No problems? Like joy? Really? Oh my God, that sounds horrifying. Okay? So every time you're about to step into that threshold, into that spaciousness, and you don't feel the constriction of the chaos, that sort of tightrope, that sort of feeling, it feels so foreign that you misidentify it and you energetically shove yourself back into the drama and expose yourself. So that would expose yourself to all these other kind of crazy and wayward things. So the question you need to ask is not so much, the other thing you're spending a lot of time on is trying to get conclusions about your past. No one's past is ever concluded until you say, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
You could spin in that past forever, and it feels really important, and it feels really justified, and people love to be there because it puts them on perpetual hold, and they never have to go into the anxiety of the unknown. And that anxiety of the unknown is way more terrifying than reliving the rage of the childhood. So the next step for you, my dear, is to say to your guides and to your moon cards and every other power that be, okay, I'm open to receive the newness. What about receiving joy am I out of alignment with? How may I be willing to receive this peace, to feel secure in the joyful version of me, in the new aware? How may I become more aware of this way of being and embrace it? Okay? And how may I let the other stuff go? Because right now, one of the things that I've found, especially working with so many clients over the years and also in my own life, is that a lot of times, especially as adults and especially as powerful women, we think we have to have everything all tied up and finished before we're allowed to move on to the next thing. And the universe really would let us sort of graze with our life experiences and not have to clean our plates. They'd rather us just take a bite of this and get the lesson, and then take a bite of that and get the lesson, than to have to, shove a whole turkey dinner down our throats for us to finally get the lesson and complete the meal, and then, graduate up from it and move on. It's really not how the universe works, especially not in this energy. So don't be afraid that if, you can just cut to the chase and say, what about this is that I'm not getting? What's right about this I'm not getting? What's right about this that I'm not getting? And that's basically a fancy way of saying, what's the lesson here? And I'm willing to move on. What would help me to move on into a more expansive place with ease? Ease would be a really good word for you to meditate on. Ease. And how can you give yourself permission to be comfortable with more ease? Because you're really not. And that's the big energetic issue. So I hope that's helped, shed a little light. I'm already 8 minutes over my show time, so I have to go.
Thanks very much. I appreciate your time.
Oh, I am so glad you called in. Thanks so much, Annette, and good luck to you.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, okay, we have come to the end of another Aha Moments radio show. I know some of you wrote in questions for me. What I will say about you guys, when you write in email questions, if you call in live, you're going to have much more of a chance of getting your question answered. I'm not trying to not answer them. It's just that I run out of time, and if people are sitting on the line, I always have to take the live calls first. But as I was looking through your questions, I think that the content that we covered today should have helped at least a few of you. So hopefully it did. If not, then just give a call in next week or send another email, and you can ask me the question again, and I'll see if I can get to it on the next show. All right? So I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you. I love you all. I appreciate all of your kind words, all of your gratitude, and all of your willingness to show up and hang out with me on Tuesdays. I really, really enjoyed it. So let's see. I guess that's the end of the show. And you know my motto, you truly can have exactly what you want, and you absolutely deserve it too. Have a great night, everybody. See you next week.
You've been listening to the Aha Moments radio show with your host, Mari. Be sure to visit her blog and website at www.ahamomentsinc.com. That's AHA, moments with an S, inc.com. Also join Mari on Facebook at www.facebook.com/ahamomentsinc and Twitter at twitter.com/ahamoments. We can't wait to see you there.